I came here without having to worry about any expenses. But let me start with my story of how I became a Christian, how I came to Jesus. 2 years ago, well, it will be 2 years ago, the 7th of November, I met Gina. Gina began intriguing me with this one question. Do you know that Jesus is coming again? That question, it left me a little bit scared because I didn't know much about Jesus. And that's Gina over there. So she began to give me Bible studies. And as I began receiving those Bible studies, the question would always pop up, when is Jesus coming? When will I see my Savior come again? And so the studies touched me so much that eventually she introduced me to the Bamberg Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, I had heard of the Catholic Church, which is where I grew up in. I had heard of the Baptist Church, the Methodist Church, but the Adventist Church, that I never heard of. And so I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know exactly what they stood for, what they believed in. So I came to this church, and one thing I can guarantee you, more than half of those members hugged me and greeted me. And it was one of the greatest feelings I ever felt. It was indescribable, honestly, because I never felt that much love from a group of people. And then I found out they have the same passion as me about proclaiming that Jesus is going to come again and that they're awaiting his second return. And it amazed me. And so I kept assisting each Sabbath. And eventually some things had to go. I had to let go of soccer. I loved soccer. I would play every Saturday, but eventually I gave that up. And it got to the point that I was deciding to make a new life in Jesus. I didn't want the old me anymore because the old me was fading away. And God was calling me to be somebody else, to be a new Diogo. And so I made the decision to be baptized, but there was one problem. I didn't have my mother's support. See, I was attending church, but she was not attending with me. And so I would tell her, Mom, I want to be baptized in this church. And she was like, yes, in a while. Just wait a little bit. I realized that when she meant in a while, it meant never. Sadly, that was the reality of it. She didn't want me to get baptized. But then I remember reading the book of Acts chapter 5, verse 29. We ought to obey God rather than men. And I knew I had a choice to make. It wasn't going to be an easy choice, but it was going to be the choice that I had to make if I wanted to seek Jesus while he could be found. And so I was baptized. It was the 7th of November when Pastor Alejandro Bullon came for a campaign. Now, my mom knew that he was preaching, but she didn't know that baptisms were going to take place also. So that's the part that I surprised her a little bit. And, well, I'm not sure if she saw me because she was talking to I believe Pastor Aguero was talking to her that day and comforting her because she was in tears. She couldn't believe that I was making this decision. All my life I had been obedient to her, but this time I had to be obedient to God. And so now began my new mission. And I remember the next day, it was a Sunday. I was home. She left the house, not telling me anything. And I was like, where did my mother go? And although somebody would typically be afraid that their mother went, at that point I had peace. At that point, it didn't matter who didn't like me and who disliked me. My friends in school, they all left me because I changed my type of music. I used to love EDM, electronic music. I used to jam to it every day. And now, today, I listen to Christian music. That's what motivates me as, well, a Christian. And my family also had problems with me at home because I did not accept unclean food anymore. So I decided to change my health. And Tom Arcadi actually helped me with that a lot because he guided me through that process. And eventually I plan on being a vegetarian. It's a work in progress, but it'll happen, God willing. Yes. But yes, now me and my mom are in good terms, and she is assisting my church more and more every Sabbath, and it's a blessing. But now came a new problem. I heard about Lake Nelson, and I heard that this is an Adventist school that could change my life. And this has been my first year, but I did not come here very easily. I came here having to pray on my knees almost every day, that God could make a way, that He could open the doors. A year back, I wanted to come to this school, but I wasn't praying. I wasn't devoting the time that I should to my God, and so He didn't allow me to come here. But maybe the time wasn't right. Maybe He didn't want me to come. But this year, I did something new. I prayed, and I did everything I could. Everything good. I pleaded to God for me to come to this school. And let me tell you, God never fails. Amen. I came here and expenses were a problem. I don't have to worry about expenses. You see, God, when you remain faithful to Him, no matter who is there for you, no matter who isn't, He will always remain faithful. He will always provide. And my favorite verse that I always tell everybody that I meet is Isaiah 55, verse 6. Seek the Lord while He may be found, call upon Him while He is near. It's a verse that teaches me to always be prepared, because you don't know when Jesus is coming. He's coming like a thief in the night. And so I give thanks to Lake Nelson for giving me new opportunities each day. Opportunities to preach, and opportunities like this to sing with the choir. So thank you for hearing us, and may God bless you.